Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today is the continuation of my paint series where I show off one paint in particular per video. I hope you enjoy. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you to the patrons and YouTube members that support this channel, that allow these paint reviews to happen. So I really appreciate you guys. And if you wanted to also be a patron or a YouTube member, you can check out the description or simply leave a one-time tip if this video was particularly useful to you. Make certain to check out how to do that in the description. All right, let's get started. This is Sand Golem, and this Skaven was primed with Ivory Primer Ivory. Now, my first thought painting this color onto the miniature was that this was a rather yellow with very dark highlight for something to do with sand, regardless of whether you put it over a gray, which would bring out a green to it, or this cream color. Where exactly does sand look like this? And if you put it over white, it'd just be even more yellow. So I disregarded its name and just considered, what could I do with it? It looked like a possible gold shadow candidate. I wasn't sure if the yellow was too strong in this one, but it was worth a shot. I also thought it would be good over dark yellows, oranges, and lighter browns to give them all a shadow. Well, before we get into my experimentation, here is what it looks like over the Ivory Primer once it is dried. Again, this is just one solid layer, as you saw. Like I said, not sure where the sand comes into the equation. Maybe I'll be enlightened in the future on that one. But now that I know the colors within this paint, I can do some testing. So I had this infinity model from Corvus Belli that you may have seen in a previous video if you've been watching this series. And I cleaned up the green I had gotten on his sword with the Greedy Gold Fanatic, since I originally primed him with Greedy Gold the spray. And then I applied as neatly as possible a single coat of the Sand Golem all over it, not allowing it to pool at all really, because that wouldn't look quite right for metal, in my opinion. As you can see, it becomes a much darker copper tinted gold. It's very pretty against the green. Do you agree? So that was a neat effect. Well, while I waited on that to dry, I went to work on this little skink, which I had dry brushed a silver onto. I'm afraid I don't recall which silver, but maybe white aluminum from Biometal Color. Anyway, I also added Lava Orange Fanatic to his shield, Bio Polished Gold to his big scales on his back, his toes, and the top of his crown. And just to try it out, I also added Paratrooper Tan Fanatic to his spear. I started with a good coat of the Sand Golem over the orange at first to see how it took to it. And I think it looks very good. Picked out those crevices very nicely, so that's a success in my books. And I tried it on the spear, which turned the duller pale tan into a reasonable looking stained wood color. And then because it changed the tan color and the orange so drastically, I decided rather than go straight Sand Golem, I would make an even mix of the Sand Golem with speed paint medium and applied that all over the silver and the gold of this little fellow's body, being quite careful how it pooled. And remember that you have to apply speed paint in one whole coat on the area that you're working with without stopping. So make sure you have enough of a batch to do it, or the effect will be like a watercolor and create darker lines wherever you stopped and started again. And by the time I finished with the skink, this infinity fellow has basically dried, and though it looks a lovely shade by itself, I decided to just play around a little with more Sand Golem in places to make it a little more reflective visually, a little more metallic based on shadowing, without spending too much time on it. And here's the skink again, looking quite different from how he started. That is one neat thing about paints such as these, or with washes, is that they can bring disparate colors together under one subtle or not so subtle hue in this case, to make the separate parts of the model come together into one whole collective painting. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you found it useful, if you did, make certain to give it a like. Let the video spread and let me know that you enjoyed it. So be sure to do that, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do that as well. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Also, this will be the next color in this video series, so I hope you enjoy that with me in the next one.